Kennedy Hall is putting out a video with the title, Why Bishop Barron's Eucharistic Revival Will Ultimately Fail. And I was just thinking about that title. I don't think it will ultimately fail, but it may fail if it's, depending how it's enacted. I mean, I think if we had more bishops like him in the church, able to, articulate what they love, how different the world would be, the faith would be. But you cannot remove the Eucharist from the sacrifice, the Mass. And if you're going to renew the Eucharist, you have to renew the liturgy, renew the sacrifice of the Mass, renew how we reverence in chapels, how we worship, how we encounter, how we give witness to our kids, how we receive the Eucharist. I mean, we have this crazy situation. We've this schizophrenic situation in the church where we say one thing and we do another. We say the universal norm of the Roman Rite is to receive the Eucharist on the tongue, but we don't use it, practice it. And then we're wondering, well, why don't people believe? Why don't people believe? And as we've turned the Mass, we've turned what is most sacred into something that, is a show. It's a show. And people will chase priests for the show. Some priest is coming in, there are some amazing priests. They give great homilies. There's no doubt about it. Great preachers, great priests. But, people will go to them for, they want to be nourished. They want good preaching. But we forget that the greatest encounter is that sacrifice, the Mass offered by the priest. And the only way to renew the Eucharist is to renew the liturgy. That is the only way. You cannot take the Eucharist out of the sacrifice, the Mass. And the church needs to look at this. What have we done to the sacrifice, the Mass? What have we done to priestly training? It's very, very sad. But anyway, I wish Kennedy Hall well with the video, but I was just looking at the title that he's putting out, and this is my opinion on it. But I don't think it will fail. It may, but I don't think it will. If we had more bishops like Bishop Barron, and you can say, oh, Robert, you're very modernist. Bishop Barron is very modernist. Like, where are the people, when people criticize them, I'd love to see what they're doing instead. What are you doing instead? What are you publishing instead? How are you helping instead? Renew the faith. Renew what is true, good and beautiful. And the traditional Latin Mass is true, good and beautiful. It can be celebrated with reverence. I'm not this hardline traditionalist saying you should only go to traditional Latin Mass. But it is something good, true and beautiful that we can use as a tool in the church, an ancient practice in the church to renew the faith. The faithful want it. Let it happen. But if you're going to go to the Novus Ordo, you have to offer that Mass in continuity with the liturgies of previous centuries and not turn it into a show. Not turn it into a show, which, unless the show is nice, people won't go to the show. And that's not the faith. We have to lead people to a personal encounter with Christ at the Mass. Anyway, God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.